unreasonable connection at Space 4 in Park is really soon. And if you own or run a local co-working space, you know your space matters. And something, when I ran a co-working space, I was always like, if only the people around me knew what this space was. And it's really hard to articulate the value of your local co-working space to the council, funders, the neighbors, and even sometimes the members inside. Because you kind of always end up saying something like, it's got desks and Wi-Fi. And that's the bit that's really tricky. And it seems at this stage of the game, you would think it would be easier to do that. And of course, there's some of you watching this who are really good at talking about that, but it is a reoccurring theme. And most of it is not how to market our co-working space, but how to demonstrate and articulate the value. So instead of the local authority looking at your space and thinking it's another business that rents desks, it is this civic asset. It is a citizen collection point. It is a market that is a conversation and all those kind of abstracty things. A lot of people I talk to in academia and who run co-working spaces say something like, we have lots of stories to tell, but we don't really have the data to demonstrate the value. And that's really, really tricky. So I love in the London Co-working Assembly how we always get academics, people who run and own co-working spaces, people from local authority, and people who run projects in co-working spaces. In particular, there's two that spring to mind are Williams, who runs the Job Club in Space 4, where we're doing Unreasonable Connection, and Kofi and Urban MBA have run Urban MBA cohorts in Exchange, in Bishopsgate, in Art Club, in Hackney, and there's one other one which I can't remember. But the other thing that always amazes me this far into the thing is there's always more co-working desks in a city than there are people, even economically active. So like in Waltham Forest, which E17, as you might know it, I can't remember how many hundreds or thousands of people there are who are economically active, but there's way more people in economically active people in Waltham Forest than there are desks in co-working spaces. And again, I think it's that even with that local authority who are really into the whole co-working conversation, it is really hard to articulate the value of your co-working space. So that's unreasonable connection. And there's going to be three movements of the day, which will be intertwined with those conversations just demonstrated there. The first, Tilly and the crew from a coup is really hard to say in a video. The crew from a coup will be facilitating the groups on the day. So we'll come in, it'll be like a deep work session and we can talk about these story problems. So that the conversation we're having is not, how do I get more members and 10x my co-working space? It's how do I do all this stuff? And you'll be with people who are on the same journey and are in the trenches with you. And you'll talk about that in the morning, then we'll have lunch, then we'll swap groups so you get to talk to each other a bit more. And then at the end of the day, we'll have a reflection session. So you can let everything that's come up in the day settle and then work out what is the one thing you're going to be able to take action when you get back to your home base. The day runs from 9:30 till 3:30 because it will be really intense. It will be talking to each other all day and thinking. It's not a sit down and listen to a talking head and some expert that could have been a YouTube video talking and talking and talking. It's you being curious, asking questions and coming up with answers. And the final bit is, like in videos like this, people always say limited places available. And there really are limited places available because Space 4 is much smaller than Blue Garage. I think it's worth having a shot to see if you could fit Space 4 inside Blue Garage. So we've got about 5 seats left. If you would like to join that room, that's somewhere around this video, there's a Luma link. And if you want to know even more, subscribe to the London Co-working Assembly newsletter, which is at londoncoworkingassembly.com. Whatever you're doing, have a great day. Be careful out there. It is a jungle.